Welcome to Just Relationships, the show that offers you concrete ways to make your relationships better. Whether it's your boss, your spouse, your children, or your friends, the quality of your relationships in life directly affects how you feel about yourself and the success you achieve. Your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer, a psychotherapist, telecoach, author, and seminar leader, will interview top experts to help you learn to manage this essential part of your life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer.
Greetings to you. Well, we all want to be vital at any age, and especially as we get older, we would like to stay vital. If you would like to stay vital, stay tuned, because I'm very happy to introduce to you my guest, Meredith Oppenheim, who is the founder and CEO of Vitality Society. Now, what is Vitality Society? It's a wonderful enrichment program for people over 60, starting with exercise and including art classes and songwriting classes and meditation and physical therapy and so many things, you name it. Well, welcome, Meredith.
Thank you, Dr. Duffy.
And what I also want people to know, because I'm so impressed, I think it's so incredibly wonderful that you have your MBA from Harvard. And you are very, very well versed in older people, the older person population. And you and I were talking about, can't use the word senior citizens, you can't use the word older. You can use the word older, yes.
Older people is what
older people,
is the proper term.
OP, and all different names. And I think people should be respected at any age. There's something called adultism, which is not in the vernacular, but it has to do with how adults treat children, like they talk in front of them as if they're not there. You know, there are ways that adults disrespect children that is still below the level of awareness, but the term is adultism. And of course, we're looking here at ageism. And how do we go against ageism? How do we fight ageism? And so how about just telling us what caused you to start this organization called Vitality Society? What were you interested in doing?
Sure, Dr. Duffy, thank you for this opportunity. So I began working with older people 31 years ago, and I loved my grandparents so much. I wanted them to live forever. I cherished the time we spent together when they would come visit. And I guess what's interesting and maybe even poetic is right now we're living with my parents, and my daughter now has that joyfulness of spending time with our oldest generation. So it's fantastic. And I started Vitality Society because I saw a very significant need to help people 60 and better remain at their best. This is a generation of older person that is unlike any that has come before. And I felt that I am a student of this and I need to be a leader. So I set out for 18 months to figure out what is it that people 60 to 80 years old needed, wanted, valued, and how can I be a catalyst for change? And so I distilled my findings down to 8 principles, which we can talk about if you'd like in further detail. But the idea was, how can we help older people become the best versions of themselves? Put them on a pathway to positivity, purpose, have pleasure, really to find this joyfulness in life. But while doing so, help them achieve the physical well-being that they need to enjoy their lives and the mental well-being that they need to feel good about their lives. And so our platform strives to do just that. We focus on the physical well-being, the mental well-being, and the enrichment of our members. And so the idea is we want to tap into their vitality and potential later in life and realize that there's so much opportunity to really continue to live and enjoy life in ways that might not have been possible before, but is possible now.
I love the way you put that, Meredith. Tap into vitality and potential rather than make people more vital, because we already are so alive. And are you alive and really alive, or are you not? And many people are not really alive. They're not lively. They're not vivacious. So you and I have talked about your name, Vitality Society, which I absolutely love. I think it's perfect. And I want everyone to know that the reason I know Meredith Oppenheim is because I am one of her, what's the word? I can't say students.
Distinguished, committed members.
Member. I'm a member. I'm a member. So people know I'm
very special.
Thank you, Meredith. And I love how you put 60 and better, because I'm better than 60. So, so here we go. And the way I found Meredith, I consider myself to be extremely lucky, is that I have a friend and colleague named Peggy Brill. She's actually a neighbor of mine. That's how I met her, in the swimming pool in Florida. And she's a physical therapist and an author. And when she let me know that she was doing classes on Zoom, I said, let me sign up, because I always was curious about how she did her work. I could tell from the way she talked that she really knew her business. So I signed up for Peggy's class. And then, of course, if you become a member for everything, you have unlimited classes all week long. And I take advantage of that, don't I, Meredith?
Yes, I'm proud to say that we have a very, very loyal, committed following, Duffy, and you're one of those incredible people. And it's quite remarkable. We have members that come to almost every class. I think you're in that category. Yes. We have those also that come to at least one class a week. So we have a wide spectrum, and then we have some that just show up for programs every so often. So we really try to meet people where they're at and where they want to be. So one example, you had mentioned Peggy. She's one of our coaches, and we really strive to curate the highest quality content for our members. We focus on cardio and enrichment and mindfulness and rehab and strengthening. So we work diligently to get this very diverse programming, but also the top tier coaches. So for another example, our Broadway dance class is taught by a former Rockette who was in Hairspray, and Peggy Brill is our physical therapist, has won the best physical therapist in New York City for many years. And really this high quality coaching brought to our members in the comfort of their living room. And it allows them to not only engage with this extraordinary talent, but also in the environment of a very supportive community of other people at a similar stage of life who have similar goals. And then we have a concierge that helps people every step of the way to take out any intimidation factor with the technology, so people really can engage and benefit as much.
Which is really big with the technology. And I want everyone to know that I wanted to interview Meredith because Vitality Society changed my life. And at the beginning of the COVID crisis, my whole life was interrupted, changed, everything was different. Suddenly I was quarantined, and I am lucky that as a psychotherapist, I can do my work from home. And so that kept me very busy. People are in a great crisis these days. But for myself, you know, the Zoom meetings, the ability to see the instructors, the coaches, the gallery view where I can see everyone and see how other people are doing. And as you say, Meredith, people get to know each other because we talk. And what I think is so distinctive about you, and I want to hear about your master's thesis in older people and all the things that you have done, is that you and I share a very strong value around community. So you literally engage people. You engage people before the session, before the class, and afterwards. And you have a way of bringing out the best in people. Mm-hmm. And always asking for what is necessary, like could you move the camera this way, could you speak louder, but always with a framework of positivity and respect. And thank you, that was delightful, and would you please, and thank you very much. And you do that with the coaches, and you do that with your members. And I have literally witnessed people bloom and blossom with this. And I want to just say that I couldn't go to my exercise classes when we were quarantined, and I was worried that I didn't want to lose any elasticity or shape or anything. I wanted to fit into my clothes once the crisis was over, and I went for walks with my husband, but I'm a slow walker, and it really wasn't doing it. It wasn't doing it, and so two things about that for me. First of all, not only am I back in shape under your tutelage, but I am stronger than I was when I was going to regular exercise classes. So I am so thrilled. But the other thing that I want you to know is that the scheduling was extremely important to me for a couple of reasons. One reason was it gave me a structure, because what was taken away from us during COVID was our daily routines, our structures. A lot was taken away from us. So it provided me, since I was able, if I would book my clients around your classes, I have been able to go to attend every day class and evening class, which is nothing short of phenomenal. And it's only because I have the ability to make appointments that way. And I have learned in my old age to put my health and my sense of fulfillment first. For many years in my life, I was like a work machine, just a work machine. And I would have clients all day and then all evening. And I would say, I've got to let this body rest for 25 minutes so I can be there for my evening clients. Otherwise, I'll be toast. And so I treated my body like a machine. And now,
now you can treat it like a temple.
Now I treat it like a temple, not a machine. That's exactly right. So, and the other thing that I find very beneficial is that it's not recorded. I know maybe you record something sometimes, or you don't. Okay, that's very good for someone like me who is basically very lazy, and I don't move easily or well. If you know anything about Ayurvedic, Indian traditional medicine, I'm a kapha. I'm the rounded type, and I don't like to move that much, and rather indolent, and I'm happy just reading a book and not, I could sit all day reading a book. So for me, the fact that I have to show up at a particular time for a particular reason is exactly what I need, because if I could say, oh, it's on record, I could just do it later. It never comes. Later never comes.
Later never comes.
Later never comes.
Well, it's interesting too, Duffy, because in your realm, Dr. Duffy, in your realm of expertise, is the live content is what allows for those connections prior to and after every class. And it is that level of community that really builds affinity and really creates a lot of enthusiasm around committing, staying with the class, staying with the program, and the benefits that result because of that are extraordinary. So the idea that people are seen and can be heard is really at this point in time and is so valuable and meaningful, especially at this stage of life.
This stage in life, this point in time, it's just so incredible. And for me, the diversity, first of all, I joined for the physical reason, okay? And so there's the physical therapy class, there is the Pilates, there's chair yoga, there's regular yoga, there's Tai Chi, there's Latin dancing, barefoot therapy. We live in a culture that it never occurred to me to touch my feet. That kind of was weird. Now, because I learned about barefoot therapy, I'm always touching my feet and massaging, and it's great. And how much we need the feet.
Absolutely.
How much we need the feet. And then, as you mentioned, the Broadway dancing. And I was enthralled. And then on top of that, you added an art class with all fascinating projects and singing and songwriting. And now you've added making a family coloring book
program.
And a writing program. A family writing program. This is your life. This is what you can pass down to people. And through the coloring book, to actually create a coloring book,
right? And
of people in your family. So it's really incredible, and I just can't thank you enough personally.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll say, Dr. Duffy, this is very much in line with your expertise. I mean, I am also the background in social sciences, and so I think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and at the foundation is this sense of belongingness. And that's, again, above the basic needs of food, water, shelter. But the idea, the part of the foundation of that pyramid is to belong. And that's also very much aligned with what we know now, social determinants of health. That the community that surrounds you and the connections that you feel is what propels you forward and helps with your lifespan. And so in line with that is building at the foundation of the pyramid this sense of belonging. Once we establish that, then you can go into the exploration of people's further needs, right? So the idea of mindfulness, going inside, right? And then physically going outside with the dancing and expressing. And then as we go up to further on the pyramid is this idea of self-actualization. So Dr. Duffy, you're a great example of this. Someone who had artistic talent, had artistic interest, but didn't have the opportunity in their lives to cultivate that. What a great opportunity to do that now, again, supported by a community with other people that are in a same stage and place, with great coaching, and to have that period of self-actualization. I want to be able to draw my self-portrait. I want to be able to write my memoir. I want to be able to create a song. So we facilitate these expressions at the peak of the pyramid because I see people at the peak of their lives and potential.
Yes, and in my age group, it's many people have already retired. Some people are semi-retired, and some people are working full time. And I have always said, I really should semi-retire. So I can do my art. I went to Fashion Institute of Technology. I had art in my background, but I hadn't done any art in many, many years. And so what happened was the COVID just stopped everything dead. There was a Broadway play years ago, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. And that's what COVID did. And all my speaking engagements were canceled and my teaching was canceled. So all I had left was my therapy practice, and which was fine with me. And I didn't have to deal with performance anxiety any longer, certainly not traffic, Right.
The
So yeah. So what happened was it really afforded me time in the comfort and safety of my own home to pursue these things. And it's kind of like a renaissance, and my wish for everyone during the pandemic is to find their inner locus of control and to look at the Serenity Prayer, which is adapted by adopted by AA rather, but it is for everyone. When I teach stress management courses, I use the Serenity Prayer as the basis. The serenity to accept what you can't change, the courage to change what you can, and of course the wisdom to know the difference.
Interesting.
Yeah, so many people look to the outside for their happiness. And for so many diversions, I also do a lot of marital therapy. And one thing we look at in marital therapy is what's called sealing off exits. So many people will find all kinds of diversions in a relationship so they don't have to really encounter each other intimately. I mean, it could be an affair, but it could be romantic novels. It could be computer gaming. It could be anything. It could be workaholism. It could be anything. So in this case of people cohabitating in lockdown, a lot of the exits have been sealed off. And you either love the person more or hate them more. But it's just wonderful to, and that's a whole other topic that I will talk about at other times with other people. The idea of mating in captivity, mating right during COVID. But it's very multi-dimensioned to be older at this time. And I think for everyone has their difficulty with the pandemic, whether it's kids who can't go to school or can't have a graduation ceremony, or parents who are doing homeschooling, people working at home. I have so many teachers in my clientele who really hate the online instruction. And it's very, very difficult. So I first of all, I want everyone to know that this is Dr. Duffy Spencer, and we are Just Relationships, WHPC 90.3. And I am interviewing Meredith Oppenheim, who is the founder and CEO of an organization called Vitality Society, an organization of 60 and better, people 60 and better, for physical fitness, as well as emotional and mental fitness and aesthetic fitness, right? You have such a penchant for artistry. And you even started a book club, did you not?
We did. I was just, before I get to that, I was just going to triggered an idea I wanted to share with you. I mean, I see that we know that the exercise is the number one contributor to longevity. So adding years to life. And we also know that engagement adds life to years. And what we do at Vitality Society is add meaning and joy to every day. So it's so important to have the fitness, and it's essential to have the community, but it's so critical to have something that you could look forward to every day that is impactful and meaningful and beneficial to your life. And so that's what we do. And I have a perspective, Dr. Duffy, that's interesting because I am the mother of a nearly 10-year-old and a puppy mama, which is interesting because I've been afraid of dogs my entire life, and now I am the owner of one. And I'm living with my parents. My husband, daughter, and I are living with my parents.
And this is directly because of the COVID, right?
This is because of COVID. We are a New York City family that relocated to my home where I grew up. And 31 years ago, I started in this house saying that my girlfriends were going to go candy striping, taking care of the sick at the local hospital. And I said to my mom, I didn't want to go. And she said, what do you want to do instead? I said, I want to keep people well. I don't want to be near the sick. I was terrified as a teenager to go into a hospital. And that really began my mission and compassion for this population. And that, was over 3 decades ago. But it's interesting. I think about with my daughter, who, as you know, being displaced
I've seen her a number of times. That's the wonderful aspect of Zoom. Yes.
Yeah, you see her.
Lovely.
Yeah, and so, I have conversations with her often that we can easily focus on everything that's missing in our lives. And I think about that with our members of Vitality Society too. The places we can't go, what we can no longer do. But I said, that's easy, but what's harder and frankly more important is to start to cherish and value what you've got. And to be living with grandparents is beneficial mutually for the young child and the older person. So that just is so valuable, to be able to spend time with my husband, who's not traveling right now. He used to be away 50% of the time. So that's incredibly valuable. And for me, starting my company, to have my husband and parents here is invaluable to me. So I could really engage with our members, and I have the energy and I have the desire because I have support around me to do the work that I love and I do best.
You sure do. And you have energy for every class to introduce and take very often, and afterwards, again, to engage people, to build that community. And I think that that's what so many Americans don't understand. We are a culture that is not only individualistic, which I am an individualist, but extremely individualistic. And that means I have to do it myself. And if I need something, I'm needy and I'm weak and I shouldn't need support. And what we're looking at, the healthy model of people being together, is interdependency, but we're taught as Americans to be independent. And then, of course, we have crazy glue relationships that are very, very enmeshed. I want to thank you, and I want everyone to know that we're very fortunate that Meredith Oppenheim is coming back next week for part 2 of this series. And it really is about aging well. Aging magnificently, aging what? Aging creatively, right, Meredith?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see aging as an opportunity. Or when I sat on Mayor Bloomberg's commission in New York City, we talked about aging being an asset to a community, right?
Yes.
And the idea of older people having wisdom. We're going to be introducing a program, Dr. Duffy, coming up called Explore Your Expertise, because our members have such incredible depth of knowledge and experience, yes. And we want them to be able to be very proud of what they've done and share with other members and have an opportunity to showcase their knowledge and expertise.
Wow, that is absolutely wonderful. So we'll be looking more at aging well and how we can keep engaged really at any age. And again, I'm interviewing Meredith Oppenheim, who is the founder and CEO of Vitality Society. Okay, you can find that easily if you're interested. Okay, and this is Dr. Duffy Spencer saying goodbye for now and wishing you great relationships.